Liftoff of mission 41D, first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of Health or High Water. I am so excited. I got a really special guest here. I cannot wait to introduce you guys to him. We've already had an amazing conversation already. Guys, thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing what we got going on here. Without you, this podcast would be nothing. Got some new states in the works. Oregon, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go Oregon, except for you guys being the Buffs the other day. A few weeks ago. Also, thank you to our close sponsorship with You vs. You. We find it in our link below. Got a book out. It's on Kindle and Amazon. It's called Health Profiling. You guys go check it out. As well as Kaliva Labs, our supplement company. It is growing thanks to you guys. David, thank you so much for coming in. We've already had an amazing conversation. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're at right now, a little bit about your story?
Yeah, and thanks for having me. Wow. So many ways to tap into the wellness journey and how I relate. And I think I'll start with what I'd say is my newest iteration of my work in the wellness world. I came from a business background. I worked in the finance world in my 20s and moved from that into my 30s, doing wellness retreats and guiding people through their wellness journey. I was inspired by my own transformational work that came about because of the financial crisis and marriage falling apart, and just having the opportunity really to do my own work. But to fast forward through all of that, and maybe we'll come back to that in conversation, that leading up to COVID has led me to really kind of turn a new leaf. And I've been inspired to work with people in a mentorship capacity and kind of integrate the wellness experiences I've had, the spiritual work I've done, and my business acumen and experience to support leaders, executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives, to infuse a sense of purpose into their lives, into their work. And I do personal mentorships. I do a couple retreats a year with my clients. We just got back from Sicily, which was an amazing experience. And we do some local things here at a property that I just developed in Lyons. So
Thank you for the lavender, by the way, man. Thank you for the lavender.
My pleasure. Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the property that I'm enjoying cultivating and learning and growing into. So yeah, it's interesting seeing how we build up throughout the course of our lives. We iterate and we continue to kind of grow into our work. And I feel one of the most important things and messages that I want to share right now in my life is that our direct experience is so important. And I don't preach anything that I don't live. And I don't want to share in a work capacity anything that isn't real to me and isn't a direct experience that I've had. And so I look at how I've iterated through my work and started in a business sector and in a business capacity, moved through years of travel and exploring wellness and exploring personal growth and health, and now coming to a place where I want to share that, and having embodied that and experienced that, and it being a direct experience for me, that just feels good and right. And I feel like, we have a tragedy of authenticity right now in our world.
Hear you. Yeah.
Right. And, I think, we're all trying to get to what that clear signal is that we want to put out. And, it's all about direct experience. It's all about, integrating all the things we've learned and being authentic in that voice. And that's where the mindfulness comes in. That's where my work kind of where the crossroads are, so to
Right,
speak,
right.
for my work, right? Integrating mindfulness with the endless pursuit of purpose and that authentic signal.
Well, I love it. You use the word purpose a lot. That's something we try to do here at Ascent Performance. Is like, hey, what's your purpose? What's your meaning? Because without that, it's life is just a husk, kind of, right? So, what does like purpose mean to you? How do you use purpose to help with these coaching programs, mentorships? What does purpose mean to you?
Yeah, so it's definitely a loaded
Sorry.
word. But it's a word I use, and it's a word I definitely believe in. I am more interested in where purpose comes from
Okay.
than what purpose is.
I like that.
What purpose is different for everybody, right? Like, I can't tell you what your purpose is, and your purpose tomorrow might change.
Right.
Right? I'm sure if you were to tell me the iteration of your professional career, which we talked about a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Being in sports and then working with genetics and training and business model, et cetera, right? You would probably be able to pinpoint different times in your life where your purpose had shifted, right?
100%, yeah.
Or changed. So purpose is like something that's an organic thing and constantly, changing. That I believe to be true. Where it comes from is a singularity, in my opinion and in my work. So the singularity there is this, this concept that purpose comes from a deeper space within. So what it is, I can't tell you. Where it comes from, I can probably help you find. And that's what we do with mindfulness. That's how we integrate mindfulness. We create a space for deep listening. That's where it lives. That's where it bubbles up from. And, when we can tap into that throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout our year, throughout our lives, we can explore what purpose means in those moments.
I love it because purpose. Excuse me. Purpose is fluid, right? Like like you said, one day it's going to change. When I moved out to Denver, I never thought I'd be here. I just thought I had some supplementation background and I played in some sports. I never thought I'd be in here right now. And you're 100% right. Like that idea of purpose changes for people and it should. I think it should evolve with you, right? Like, hey, I already accomplished this. Like, what's my next purpose here? That's a interesting way to put that, man. Where does it come from? And incredible. Let's take you back to 2008. Right, the economy's still doing well. Everything. You're in investment banking. Was it?
Yeah.
Investment banking. Yeah. You're in investment banking. Everything crashed. What were you feeling? I know that had to be a huge catalyst for you, right? To like get on this journey. What was happening in 2008?
Yeah. Well, I want to try and tie that answer together with this concept of purpose. I think at that time, I was in my 20s, and to be honest, I'll bring you to a memory I have that is like visceral. Still lives in me for sure. I'm driving my car, my nice sedan. I was driving an Acura back then. I loved Acura.
Noise.
Yeah, the legend.
There you go.
Was it a legend? No, it might have been an Audi. But anyways, I'm doing my route to work. Average day. Had my coffee. Had my breakfast. I'm driving to work. I'm probably listening to NPR or something like that. And I just have this moment where it's like I can, in my memory, see the car moving and the houses passing by the window, but it's like time stopped. And I had this question come up, and it was like, what if this is all there is? What if this is all there is? And I think that like when I go back to that moment, it was like this wisdom that I knew I wasn't doing what I really was meant to be doing, right? There was something off there. I was married, beautiful partner, beautiful house. I mean, all the things. And I was only like 27 years old. But something in my soul was just like, this can't be it. Like, I'm not quite resonating with this. There's more. I'm not happy, right? Market crashed like 2 months later. As the market is crashing, let's say Lehman is the first
Right.
one to fall, right? And then there's the ensuing chaos. I go through a very sudden divorce, split with my wife. Everything I had identified with, despite the little whisper I heard that said that something wasn't there, we hear those whispers and we just like forget about it.
Right.
Everything I identified with was imploded, right? And it was above and beyond the chaos of the financial world. There was inner chaos.
Right.
There was one of the, I would say, most intense moments of my life. So that was the beginning for me. It was not the end,
Right.
It was the end of one thing and the beginning of something much more beautiful that I had no idea could happen, or would happen. And so, that whisper, there was something in that whisper. And I think that that's when my life really started, was after that very sharp puncture into what I knew as my reality. I didn't know anything other than that until it happened.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then something new came up.
Well, that's beautiful, man. That you again, perspective's a lot of this, right? Like, hey, like taking something that's bad happened, like, hey, that was a portion in time, and I'm going to work on something different. I'm going to be something different. I mean, that's what I had to do with my mom. I was like, hey, obviously my dad's construction job is not going to cut the medical bills down the road, so I've got to go out and do something. Like, I've got to build something to make sure that they're okay. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. So everyone listening, like, if you do have something like bad happen to, it might just be a point in time, that a jumping point for you guys to do something different. It's absolutely incredible, man. So right now you have your own business. You're gonna tell a little about your business and what give a little bit of a backstory about what your business is and what's like also a day-to-day for you.
Sure. Well, I can take you back to the next chapter of that.
Yeah. Let's
story.
Go with that.
Yeah, because I think that really leads into where I am now. Tremendous amounts of discomfort can be probably our best motivator in life.
I agree.
I hate to say that, but that's my own personal experience. Had the market not crashed, and I'm in finance, right? I'm actually in real estate, the real estate side of investment banking, which got hit the worst, obviously, in 2008. Yeah. Had I not been with my partner for 10 years at the time, my ex-wife, had it not hurt really badly, I don't know that it would have been enough of a catalyst for me to really do the hard work. But it did. It was tremendously uncomfortable, and that's when the work really began. I had to feel better. It was like I didn't have a choice.
Right.
Yeah, I curdled up for a while. I was in the fetal position at my mom's house, moving back in with my mom at 27. Needing to just lick my wounds for a little bit. But before long, I knew I had to do something.
Right.
And that's when the real work started. And I, quite serendipitously, actually, on an airplane flying to New York from Denver, sat next to a man who ended up being a spiritual teacher to me. So very much, and I believe in serendipity. I don't believe in chance. I believe we were meant to sit on that airplane together. In fact, I switched seats because a woman was with her little baby or little girl and asked, hey, can you switch with me? And I switched. So I wouldn't have even been sitting next to him. I mean, it was really, truly meant to be.
Wow.
Anyways, this guy, very non-traditional, but incredibly wise, deep meditation and mindfulness and spiritual teacher, kind of adopted me. And that's when I started doing the work. And that's a whole other podcast conversation as far as what the work was. But long story short, it truly transformed me physically. So I wasn't very healthy when I was in banking. I was drinking, doing drugs, overweight, eating whatever I wanted, did not work out. I mean, this typical kind of corporate body, corporate male.
Cobod.
Yeah, totally, Cobod. everything changed when I started doing the work, when I started tapping into, that deeper voice. I started tapping in and into my responsibility, the things that I had done to bring myself to this point where things collapsed, et cetera. And there were physical, long story short, doing the spiritual work led to a physical transformation, a mental transformation, a emotional transformation. My friends didn't even recognize me. I mean, literally, I'd walk down the street and pass by an old friend and they'd be like, David, like, is that you? Like, what? Like, it was a transformation. It was really something beautiful and special. And while that was happening, I decided to leave Denver and take a chance and explore the world. And actually, at the time, I was looking at a real estate opportunity in Latin America, and went down there and didn't like the deal, but stayed. And so I'm doing my spiritual work and I'm living abroad, which amplified that so much, right? And I'm such a believer in travel in that way, that when we take ourselves out of our petri dish here in our, secular lives and we travel, we're exposed to an entirely new way to relate to ourselves. We're exposed to an entirely new opportunity to live and see ourselves in new ways, right? Everything is different. All the ingredients are new, and there's so much power in that. This is what I experienced over the course of 3 years living in Latin America, doing the spiritual work, working with my mentor and teacher. And coming out of that, I was inspired to share it. So we started doing yoga retreats, and this was at the time, or wellness retreats. This was at the time when they were becoming really popular. Right. I had no idea. Like, I wasn't on that trajectory. Like, in my mind, I was like, let's get a building, let's do a hotel, let's do a wellness resort. That's what, that was just my training, right? I was like coming from a real estate background. But my brother actually, after we had hiked up to Machu Picchu, we were soaking in a hot spring in Peru, and he had been kind of on the pursuit with me to find this hotel project. And he was like, what if you just did like trips around the world?
I remember you telling me about that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and it just, something clicked. And I was just like, he's like, you love connecting with people. You don't want to be married to one place if you do a hotel deal. Like, what if you just create the experiences and share and bring all these, different people together and share what you've learned? And it just clicked. So fast forward to COVID, we've done hundreds of retreats around the world, worked with incredible wellness professionals of all types, healers, shamans, personal trainers, yoginis, yogis, meditation experts. We've worked with some incredible, just intrepid seekers. We've worked with corporations. I've worked with the University of Denver and some initiatives that they had. Worked in the nonprofit sector, all applying this idea of the power of wellness, the power of travel, right? And then COVID happened. That was my next kind of like opportunity to reiterate, right? That was the next, like, okay, let me check in and see where I'm at with my purpose and with what I'm putting out in the world. And I don't know what COVID was like for you, but for me, I was very fortunate to be here in Colorado. I spent a year almost in that first part of COVID in 2020 in a cabin up in the mountains. And I really kind of sat with everything. And obviously I wasn't doing any travel, retreats or anything group oriented. That was all shut down. Right. We tried to do some virtual stuff. It worked, but I didn't like it. It was just like not for me. So I sat with it. I really sat with kind of what the next step was and what might come next. And after really kind of feeling into it, it felt like there was more in the way of kind of, amplifying a message around purpose and it not having to be in a travel setting, but really be a practice that we engage every day. And when we do this practice and bringing together all my experiences over 10 years of retreats and working with, an incredible cadre of like wellness experts, kind of bringing all those together to create a practice that can help professionals and leaders and creatives to call more meaning into their lives and to create that space that we talked about.
Man, what I like about you too is you have a very eclectic background like I do. Some of the pieces don't think they make sense. Like honestly, walking in, I never thought you were an investment banker at one point, right? Like you said, your friends didn't recognize you at all.
Yeah.
But it's just an incredible story of using change to your benefit, right? Hey, like I'm gonna reassess real quick. I'm gonna take some notes, and I'm gonna come up with something new. I'm gonna keep on challenging myself. I absolutely love that because that's how you not only grow individualistically, but as a company and a brand, you grow. Right? Hey, we're gonna take some risks. We're gonna do this like with the genetics. Like no one's doing this. It's a huge risk. So I mean, kudos to you on that. So what's the day-to-day life for you right now?
The day-to-day. Well, I'm now living in Lyons, Colorado.
Yeah.
And I'm not just living in Lyons, which is a really cool little satellite town to Boulder. I'm living on a property that's about like 6 miles or so as a crow flies, but definitely tucked away in a very rural, beautiful setting in the foothills outside of Lyons. I'm on 35 acres. It's a passion project that I'm doing with my beautiful girlfriend partner. We are stewarding this land, and it's been a work in progress. It's been now, we're moving into our second summer of planting trees and creating a regenerative landscape there.
Awesome.
You're going to love this. This winter, we're transforming our greenhouse into a sauna cold plunge with like all Mediterranean themed like plants. So we're going to have all different types of wellness kind of plants in there. Like we're going to have the olive, which is a beautiful plant and has beautiful medicine. We're going to do we'll do figs. Those are just delicious.
Oh my God,
amazing! But we're basically taking the greenhouse and turning it into a small kind of little spa concept. But the day-to-day is a lot of like energy into the property there and feeling into that property and feeling into the natural environment. And nature is a big part of my practice and what I hope to share with my clients. Nature is so powerful. So I definitely take time every day to kind of integrate nature and the experience of being on this property. I obviously have a practice in the morning. I love my cold showers because I don't have a cold plunge. So I do a cold shower every morning. I do a little self-care practice, simple stuff, man, like floss, brush my teeth. I love flossing. Like there's something like meditative about it.
I love it so much.
It's like, right? It's like there's something, some people love brushing their teeth. I like there's something about the floss that, I don't know. I just like it. So I have that. And then I usually do some gentle movement. I love Qigong. So Qigong is like a foundational practice of Tai Chi.
Okay.
So I do some Qigong. I do some yoga. I do some breath work. I do a bit of sitting meditation. And then, I do my liquids, I do my coffee, and I start my day. I'm usually pretty productive in the morning, so I like to take advantage of that and do my thinking and creating in the morning, and in the afternoon, a little bit more of the physical, active kind of energy. So out on the land and, enjoying the property and doing whatever work needs to be done. And I'm in bed by early dinner, and I'm in bed by like 9:30. I really love kind of like staying with the circadian rhythms.
I'm so glad you said that, man.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. When the sun goes down, I'm in bed.
Yeah, love that.
Sun wakes up, I'm getting up too. And there's something about that connection of the circadian rhythm and like just being natural with, the Earth's movements, the sun's movements or whatnot. I work better that way. Everyone works better on a good schedule, and I think that's awesome, man. So any big projects coming up besides the sunroom? What's the property going to be looking like in the next 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. I love that. That's a good vision. Well, We're still feeling it. So we definitely intend to be inviting clients out, and my
Right.
partner also works in the the counseling, spiritual, psychological field. So we definitely intend to co-create some experiences, and I also plan to bring my clients out for weekend kind of retreats. There's so much to share on Lions. It's a really beautiful area. But for now, just still feeling into the property and really getting to know the land,
Right.
getting to know even the house. We have a nice big house there. Getting to know the different spaces. We built out a really expansive backyard area with some market garden like planter boxes, a really beautiful pergola. Then there's another area with a fire pit. There's some cool kind of common areas out there. Our front yard has a really beautiful garden that's all it's a food forest basically.
Oh, nice.
So it's got lemon balm and chocolate mint. And now we have fruit trees in there, and we have yarrow, which is a healing herb or a healing flower. We have a lot that I'm not going to remember off the top of my head right now. So feeling into that, we got the spa that we're working on. That's going to be later this year. Phase 3 and 4 look like maybe a couple of farm animals,
okay.
maybe I'm going for a horse. She's thinking donkey, I'm thinking horse.
Horse.
Yeah, horse. I mean, you can't have a property like that and not look out. I mean, you look out and see a donkey, that all the love for the donkey for sure. But it'd also be nice to look out and see a nice, beautiful stallion or mare, right?
Yeah.
So that's in the works. We're gonna do a barn, and the barn's gonna have a rad workout facility, training facility in it. Another unit for guests that we'll do on the top floor of the barn. A cool kind of meeting space as well, meeting/event space. And that hopefully maybe happens in 2020, end of 2024, maybe 2025. I think hosting throughout the years, let's say through 10 years, just hosting clients. I've really enjoyed the polarity of working with some celebrity clients, and we were talking about sports.
Yeah.
Working with some athletes and professional athletes, or people working in professional sports, as well as honestly creating space and opportunity to work with my immediate community here and friends and even family, and just having them there and
Right.
creating the space for them. So there's kind of all the things, and I like that. I enjoy working at a high level with high stakes, let's just say businesses or executives. And I think it's really important to make space to work with people that you're are part of your circle, your inner circular rings. Maybe not the inner ring. I don't know how I feel about that. And I take back maybe what I say about family. Although I don't know. That's something we could talk about. I think that's an interesting thing because when you have something like what you're doing, you'd offer this service to your mom, of course, right, or to your brother if he had a health issue or wanted to So anyways, that's debatable or an interesting just kind of thing to talk about. But just bringing clients there, opening our space for community and friends, and enjoying Colorado, I'm from here, and I love this place, and I'm so used to traveling and sharing places I love around the world with my clients and my community. I haven't taken the time yet to actually share my home. And so this is a very much amplified, I think, experience in that way, and offering in that way to be able to share something that is so close to my heart. It's where I live.
Well, that's absolutely awesome, man. I think that's one thing that we're missing as a society is that communal grind. We sit at home. We all of our community aspects are on phones. right? And I love that you're trying to get people out of that situation into some place that's healing. You've got activities to do. I mean, I can't wait to see it, man. I got to come down and come see you.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. And thanks for bringing that up. That's something I didn't mention is that, yeah, you know, on 35 acres with no cell phone signal, like we've got a Wi-Fi going, but like people don't need to know about that when they come
of course
out. we won't give them the code. It is about that. It is about helping to bring people to a space that is surrounded by nature, that is devoid of any noise pollution, radio wave pollution, microwave pollution, all the different waves we get, right? And that's the first step in decompressing, I think. I mean, these practices can work in an urban environment 100%. But to be able, like we said, to step outside, right, and see yourself in a new environment, in what I consider to be a natural environment as a very pure, healthy environment.
Right.
That's the first. That's the first step, and that's the first thing that I think we want to really offer at the property is to just get people into a natural space. And you can't see any of the neighbors where we are. Everyone out there has at least 30 acres, so you're truly tucked away. It's remote. Beautiful forest on one part of the property, beautiful meadows on the other, and of course all the stuff we're doing with the regenerative farming pieces and the food forests, et cetera. So that's an activity that we definitely want to work with, and I think part of the work that I do is to help create practices that enable that integration. Right. So the practices that we do help us connect more profoundly with the natural world, with what I call the inner and outer nature, right? Our inner nature is reflected in the outer nature, and the outer natural environment can be reflected within, right? So the practices do kind of work with that.
I kind of think about it too. It's almost like kind of what I talked to you about epigenetics, your environmental factors, and your genetics, like your factors. Like it's spiritually, it's kind of the same way, right? Like, I absolutely love that. So I know we're getting kind of towards the end here. Where can people find you online? Where can I know, like, for me, like, I want to come out and hang out with you down at the property. I want to see everything that you're doing. I love your vibe. I love how healing you are coming in here. How can people find you on, website, social media? I want to try to hook you up here.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, and definitely want to have you come out. So let's do that. You can just text me.
Okay.
Life Force Project is my wellness travel business. So that right now is one way you can find me and just learn a little bit more about me and some of the retreats that we offer. That's lifeforceproject.com. And we have handles at Life Force Project on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that. Well Designed was the second business that I founded, and that is my consulting company that works on bringing mindfulness to the corporate space. And that you can learn more about at welldesigncollective.com. You can email me, David at lifeforceproject.com. I stayed with the original one. And I'm going to be launching a new website, and we're going to be doing some stuff on Substack.
Okay.
And some other pieces and digital kind of offerings that'll include some writing and sharing some of these podcasts that I've been on and some of my speaking engagements, et cetera. So that's all coming.
Is this an exclusive here? You dropped it here first?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it's exclusive.
Get excited. Yeah. So that's in the works. But you can always get me through those other handles and websites.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you guys, the listeners. Make sure you go check out David, any other podcasts that he's been on. Go check out his website, social media. This guy's on to some amazing stuff. I love what you're about, man. I love the farming. I love the property. I love that you're disconnecting to connect. It's all beautiful, man, and I just really appreciate you coming and spending the time with me here.
Oh, thank you, man. It was great. Appreciate it.
Well, make sure you guys are telling your brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, squirrels, best friends, roommate about this podcast. Every little bit helps. You guys are the reason that this is becoming so successful. So make sure you guys, again, Follow, share, like, and make sure you guys are checking out David's stuff, man. This guy's a cool cat, and hopefully have you back on for season 2.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Have you on for season 2, see where you're at now, see where the property is. And
No doubt, absolutely.
maybe we can take this and we'll go down to property.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. We'll sit out in the garden. We'll hear like the birds in the background.
Well, by that time I'll have video, so hopefully we'll be able to capture some of the beauty in the podcast too.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
I absolutely love this, man. And David, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you.